Hi guys, I just wanted to do another updated video on my community tank. Last video I made, it looked pretty bad. It was pretty dirty. And that's just because I haven't had the time to really get in and deep clean it. I'd spot clean it and things like that, but it got pretty bad. So, yesterday I had a day off, and I actually took everything out, except for the fish. I took all the reptiles out and all the decor. I took a net in the water, because my vacuum won't pick up all the debris on the bottom of the tank. So I take a net and I'll slowly scoop it across the bottom to pick up all the debris. And I got most of it. And then there was quite a lot of algae growth up here, and then actually down on the bottom from where the light hits the bottom of the glass. So what I did is I took a toothbrush that I specifically use for cleaning tanks. I have two of them. There's one there, and then there's one here. And I scrubbed all of the algae off that I could, except for off the rocks and things like that, because that would have taken a very long time. So it just looks a lot nicer now, and there is quite a lot of tannins in the water. That's why it's kind of yellowy looking, but I scooped some water out to put in a bucket to empty my the stuff I had picked up off the bottom into, and that cup was pretty yellow with that water in it, so I thought that was kind of neat, which the tannins come from that log there. I don't mind it, as long as it doesn't look like coffee. I don't mind, but some people say it's good for your fish, other people say it doesn't really affect them at all, other people say it's bad. My fish are fine, so I'm gonna say it's totally fine. But yeah, so I just fed everybody, and unfortunately some of the food ended up over there instead of in their dish. That dish too, that was pretty green, like it was coated in algae. So I took that out and scrubbed it really good. I know in my last video I had talked about my blue snail. Sadly he did, or she did pass away. And I don't really know why, because none of my other snails have ever passed away. Except for the adults that I buy for some reason. I don't know if it's just my water or what, but I provide them with calcium and everything, so I'm a little stumped. Maybe if it was their age, or I don't know. If anybody has any ideas, then let me know, because I don't want that to happen again. So I am now without a blue snail, sadly. And I don't think I got any eggs from her, which makes me even sadder. But that's okay. I'll just have to go find another one eventually. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. Update on the reptiles in this enclosure. That's Deanie right there. She's actually sitting out and about. I just kind of rearranged everything yesterday, so she's kind of taking everything back in and stuff. And I caught her for quite a while sitting in the water today, actually drinking out of the water, which, I mean, she does anyway, but I've never seen her in the water drinking the water, so that was kind of neat. I took her to the vet like 2 weeks ago, because our bearded dragon had ended up with an excessive amount of pinworms, and it was making him extremely sick, and he got the pinworms from the crickets he eats. I do not blame the people that breed these crickets. I do not blame them at all, because any animal has pinworms. They can carry them no matter what. It's just something that comes with animals. Even people can get them, so you have to be very careful. And most animals have them inside them anyway, and they're pretty harmless, but once they get into a large number, like they did for Haku, then they can become pretty deadly. Anyway, so I took her, I took my chameleon, which y'all haven't met in quite a while. I may do a video on him. The reason I don't do videos on him is because he's actually in the living room, and usually there's people in the living room. But yeah, we'll have to do a video on him. Anyway, I took him, her, And our turtle, the turtle ended up not getting her medication though because it's extremely hard to medicate a turtle orally. And I just could not get her to open her mouth. I tried for 3 days and could not get her to open her mouth. And I felt like the stress was not worth the reward. And she's not showing any clinical signs of being ill or anything, so I'm just going to leave her as is. Anyway, so we medicated this gal, for 3 days straight. And actually she seems to be doing a lot better. I hadn't noticed really that she was not acting herself, but now seeing her moving around a lot more and out and about like this, she seems like she's feeling a lot better. Whereas before she'd wedge herself in the water between the side of the log over there, and you'd never see her. Um, so this is an improvement. Um, if you guys find your animal not acting itself at all, take them to the vet. You never know what it could be. It could be something extremely serious, or it could be as simple as they're dehydrated, which is a serious thing, but um, you know what I mean. Um, so another reason that I cleaned everything out yesterday is because we have little black ants. Let me see if I can't find one. Here's some running around back there on that log. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but they were everywhere, and it got really bad. They weren't harming my animals at all, but I didn't want something to happen. I don't know what kind of ants they were, um, but I didn't want them crowding the tank. And I had this stick with these grape leaves on it. They're fake. I had it sitting just on top of this log over here, and I was like, I'm going to move it and see where it sticks off right here a little bit, because everybody was fighting over this basking spot, and I figured out that's actually a lot higher than this over here. So I was going to make it higher over here too. Well, when I moved it, there was a bunch of ants with brood right here on the stick. And before I could take a picture, then they had carried them off and everything. Um, anyway, yesterday when I took the log out, and I ran some water over it because there's ants on it, well, there was pretty much a whole colony of ants living in my log here. So I felt kind of bad for flushing them down the drain, but it was something I really didn't want in my tank. Um, little spiders, things like that, I'm okay if they're in here, but not in this number. I mean, there was literally thousands of them, and they were killing and eating the feeder insects for my reptiles, which was not good because then my reptiles were out of food, you know. If they weren't doing that, I wouldn't mind at all. Um, and so yeah, I had to clean that log completely out. There was brood and everything in it, and a couple winged deletes and things like that came out of it. Um, and another thing, when I was moving stuff, I have this Java fern here. It's pretty big. Um, we've had it for quite a while, and at one point I thought it completely died. But a while back, my water got too alkaline, either alkaline or acidic, I can't remember. And I got pretty scared. These leaves are covered in bio. Hold on. Pretty scared that it was gonna hurt my fish, so I added a good-sized chunk of moss, moss to the tank. And these white right here is roots from the fern that used to be free-floating, has now attached itself firmly to that moss, which is actually really neat looking. My fern looks pretty sad right now, but there is new growth on it. And the reason it looks so sad is I don't think it was getting enough light where it was at. There's new growth on it, it's just not super healthy. But it's sticking around, it's holding in there. But anyway, and I just thought that was neat that it attached itself to that moss there. I thought it was just floating around until I grabbed it and I was like, whoa, that's heavier than I thought it would be, and it's because it's attached to that moss. But yeah, so I just wanted to do an update. My crayfish is doing great. Um, the rest of my snails are doing great. All my fish are good. I've not seen anybody sick or anything like that. I will have to pretty soon. Some of these fish are getting pretty big. It's going to be really hard to pick out who's going to go, but I'm going to have to cut back on the stocking in this tank. Uh, just because they are getting bigger, and I have new babies coming and going all the time. Well, not going, but coming all the time. And it's about time for some to start going. Um, so I'll probably be picking out most of the blues, like this guy right here, and probably these blacks. The blacks are pretty, but it's not what I'm looking for right now. It's not what I want my... I don't want them actively breeding into my program here. What I'm going for is high Dalmatians, which I have a couple of, and I'm going to be starting that white one right there. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to keep both of these and see if I can't get them to breed or breed with another fish and get some albinos. So, and like this sunset here, I'll probably be keeping her. She looks pretty swollen right now, so I'm guessing she's probably carrying. Um, and I'll probably be getting rid of Mr. Tuxedo there, just because his colors are pretty and everything, but if I have the sunset, I already have all those colors, so he'll probably be going back to the fish store. I got him from the fish store, but he's just not what I want in my breeding program either, so he'll probably be getting out too. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick update and tell you how everybody's doing. Oh, my anoles, they're doing great. I have green and brown anoles. I need to get another female because right now I only have 1-to-1 male, and he's some days he beats her up pretty bad. Just trying to get a hold of her. I feel bad for her. I almost want to take her out and quarantine her for a while until I get another female, which I might actually do. Um, just that way she doesn't get extremely stressed or anything like that. But where was I going with that? Oh, I want to get another female. I'm just waiting for my pet store to get them back in, so she won't be as stressed. And then I'll probably get another female brown anole, just because the two I have right now are extremely territorial towards each other. So I'll do a lot of thought into that before I actually do that, just because I don't want to overstress them. But I do have eggs from both the green and brown anoles, and they're in a little container right there, hidden under all that, with some really moist dirt um, to incubate. There is a little hole in the side of it right there, so the parents can get in and out, but they actually didn't lay the eggs in the egg box that I had in here, which was this blue container, and I'm wondering if it's because they didn't see the dirt in it, so I switched it to a clear container. But there's a hole in this log right here, and it stays pretty moist because the water travels up it. Um, that's actually where they laid their eggs. So that was surprising. There's another big hole in here. It's almost like a bowl, except for the sides not closed off. And I took some more moist soil and just packed it in there. So they can either lay there, or if they really like it, keep laying in there. The only problem with that is there was 2 clutches in there, and I'm guessing one had laid and then the other had come and kicked the eggs out because they were actually in the water down here, which I don't want happening. I also have a really nice looking crested gecko egg right now, but I'm not keeping my hopes up. I don't know what it is, but I just cannot seem to hatch them. I had 4, and it's been probably about 3 to 4 months, and neither of them have hatched. I haven't disposed of them yet, just hoping, but I don't think they're going to hatch. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or maybe it's my male. I don't know. So, fingers crossed on this egg that I do have. But yeah. So that's that. There's Miss Deanie, who bit the crud out of me the day I took her out to go to the vet. But, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, Leave them in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.